Hey, it is your girl Marisha, health and wellness coach of MBodyFitness, Fitness, checking in with you. And today's topic, or what I want to talk to you about, is disease and denial. Yes, that is a heavy topic, but I'm not going to go too far in it or with it. And I will try to stay on the path of discussion or topic today, because sometimes I get influenced by saying something and then I'll go a little left with it, but it'd be a good left or a good right? So I hope you guys like my hat. I've worn this in another video before. It is a black designer. His name is Kwame. I don't recall the name of his company. I did have the logo on the hat. It was sewn on, but I popped it off by accident. But I will see him again this summer. So I'll make sure, if I don't find the tag in the house, I'll definitely know something before the year is out. Summer right around the corner. Well, who knows? It could be tomorrow with the way the weather is going. But and my pen is also made by black artists. Earrings made by me. Let me just shout this out right now. Black artists, black. You know, I try to I do every day, implement somebody that reflects me when I walk around in these streets. And also that it reflects my style. So, disease and denial. Let's get into it. We, as a people, think that disease just likes to go, surprise, I'm here now. No, it doesn't work like that. It starts already, and it festers, and it grows. Just like when you have, I'm going to use a woman as an example. When a woman gets pregnant, how long does it take for the baby to mature to the point of it's time to have the birthday and the child emerges from the womb, right? Uterus coming out. It takes time. So apply that same positive to your negative, because there's balance in everything. We got the light and the dark. So what happens in one form will happen in the other. It just won't be beneficial. So disease starts from conception. Oh, yes, it does. Mother, father, whatever they got going on in the midst of conceiving is what the child will have going on when they come into this earth. Okay? So that's why it's important to have sex just for reproduction. But that is a whole nother video. Not going to get into that, or maybe you'll cross somebody else who talks about that. But having sex for reproduction only is the route to go. And prior to, you should prepare for birth, or birthing a child, or bringing a child into this realm. You want to you want to remove as much toxicity from you prior to conceiving the child, right? That's why you should, at least 6 months to a year, you and your partner should say, hey, you and me, we have to be on this plan, because I don't want our child, to come into this world with you want to minimize the stress factors, right? Because it's not like you're not going to be perfect. You want to both prepare this process of making the child to be the best that it could be. Okay, because people have the concept of thinking that when a child is born, they have the bumps, they got eczema, they got whatever they were born with. It just came from, nowhere. No. You and that father, you and the mother, you guys are responsible. All right. That is the raw truth. And it's not genetics that, how a dis-ease is passed down. It's the poor eating habits. In some of my videos, I may sound repetitious saying things because things connect. Again, I always speak on dimensions, that things connect in different dimensions. You are responsible for however that child comes out or whatever they have going on with their skin, their body. It is you and the other parent. You guys are the ones who are responsible for the outcome of that. The eating habits that come about are the reasons why it appears that things are genetics or genetically passing down. The disease itself comes from those habits. So you have to change the habit. Somebody has to be strong enough to say, hey, it stops with me. Change up those habits and watch literally how simple it is, how you remove something from continuing in your family's lineage, right? We're conditioned to think that these things happen because of how the media sends out stuff, conversations from people who have other conversations with people who mean well but don't know. But they're just doing hearsay. That's why it's important to do your research, be mindful of what you are consuming, literally, physically for sure, mentally. People say, oh, it's just a baby. It don't mean anything. That ain't no harm. Da-da-da. Oh, it's harm. It's harm. And it's more harmful as you get older. However long you are on experiencing time on this realm, it is not something that you should address when a child is older. If your child is showing signs that they are big, or you seeing they're having issues with their skin, you got to pay attention to these details. Because if you didn't do your part prior to conceiving, now you definitely got to step your A game up when the child has come here. It is your fault. And it is not to say, hey, the world stops because you did something wrong. No, you learn from it, but you have to address it. You have to be mindful of it. That's my word. Being mindful of it, being mindful of your part that you played in it, because no one else is stuffing your face or forcing you to watch what you watch, eat what you eat, how you talk. No one is doing it. You have the opportunity and choices to improve and change things. That's the purpose of us being born. Like, okay, let me try to explain it the way that I've explained this before. We are do-overs. I feel like, in my opinion, from having ancestors to from far beyond time that we can think about, right? And we just keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. People try to stop us, but that ain't happening, right? It's like, okay, that was level 1. That family member was level 1. I'm at level 1,000. This game of life, this is your turn now. You have to take advantage and try to level up, literally. So that now, when the next person come up, like the Nintendo Super Mario, doom, 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 when you die, the next, or you transition, the next time somebody comes in on that level, now it is time. You're gonna go back and know, just like when you're playing a game, trying to not to go all over with the example. When you're playing a game and you die, you know what you did wrong. So now you are sitting there rooting for the next person. So the ancestors are now those that game, that player that died, right? And now they're sitting and watching you play, and they're sending you universal messages, giving you all this information that we have access to. There's no reason why we should be sick now. Anyway, that's just a big deal. That there's so many people that are sick, and there's so much vital information out here through books, through videos, just through so many platforms, social media. You could search, pick what you want and make it work for you especially after doing your research. But once your ancestors are now rooting for you, it's your turn. You know better. It is now your time to do better. They sitting on the side or however you see them in your life, and they're like, all right, I passed from doing this. It's your turn, and you got to do this now. You got to do it better, so that you can move forward. You are your ancestors' wildest dreams. You're not here just to repeat and die how they died or live how they lived. The reason why you are here now is because you were supposed to be here. It's no mistake, it's no coincidence. And the mere fact that you have the things to help you do better is an insult to them, even to your family that's living now. You got some older people who will be like, oh, I'm not down for this change, but kudos to you. I'm so glad that you're doing it. But it's an insult to them as well, because you are younger. You are the vessel now that is shaking and moving things. Everybody not going to be for it. Not all your family, not all your friends. They're not going to be about that life, or your acquaintances, whoever. Some people will be DaVinci Code about this disease and denial. Like, they'll wait till they're literally dying to tell you what is going on, or what is the reason why they have transitioned after. You'll find out after. Why? Because you don't want nobody to worry? No, I think that's not fair to those who are still in this realm. Why are we DaVinci Code? Who taught us that? Where did that come from? Where did these habits come from? Because you are afraid of how people will look at you. I be telling family and all that. I'm just like, listen, y'all got to stop living for everybody else. And make sure you tell your story to somebody, even if it's one person in your family, even if it's one person, period. You have to speak up, because you never know who is going through or what they have gone through, and they're looking for other resources. And you, the powerful person right there, went through it, and you are thriving and surviving, and you could help at least 10 people in your family, but they don't know nothing because y'all not talking. I literally had a conversation with a coworker yesterday. Always pass by this lady, be cordial, hey, what's up? And all she had to do was see me preparing some falafel for an event at my job. And she was speaking about being a vegetarian, and how she just started being a vegetarian, and she didn't, they went over the PA and said, you could come down and pick up. We have falafel gyros and chicken gyros. She was like, yeah, I'm not fond of chicken, but I heard the falafel. And then she saw me up in the kitchen preparing them. So she was like, oh, okay. How do you make that? Asking all these questions. And then I started telling her, speaking about the level of optimal living that I'm on. And I'm just saying this to say that you never know when you speak up how it can affect somebody. So we went from hi and bye to saying our names to then her telling me what office she works in. I'll see you around the building, and how she likes what I'm doing, and it just sparked different energy. And you can be that person. I'm getting chills talking about it. You can be that person in your family. I am that person in my family. And if there's anybody else that is passionate like me at my level, like I have family who is passionate, but I'm different. Baby, I'm different. Baby, I'm different. I'm that person at my job, in the office, who I'll randomly check in on folks in my office. I'm like, yo, you drinking your water? I am that person that listens to you when you say you want to do something, you want to change, or you're telling me these habits or things that's happening with your body and you don't know why. I don't necessarily volunteer advice, but I am that listener. And if I feel that you are that person who will take a bite of what I give you, I'm going to give it to you in doses. And some people have been applying that. I've seen it, but I'm that spark. So if you are that spark, start speaking up. You don't have to drain yourself and give to people who are not receptive, because you're going to have those people who are like, listen, I'm going to die anyway, kind of thing. Makes no sense to me, because that's just like you're walking by a building and it's on fire and they're going to say, well, it's on fire. Let me throw another match. Absolutely not. That's not your mindset with that. So it shouldn't be your mindset with yourself. You're going to walk by that building with the fire, and you're going to play some type of part in trying to help. If you ain't got no water, you're going to pull out your phone and say, yo, there's a fire on such and such street. This here, it's big. We need the firefighters. Or you're going to try to be the one to aid people with, you got blankets or water. You're going to do something. You're going to play a part with helping the building to reduce the fire and stop it and save the people who are there. That's how you have to push for yourself in this life. And it starts with when you are born. So if your family member did not know better, those who conceived you, you be the change. You be the change and start with you. So if you plan on conceiving, you make sure whoever you pick has no problem with taking hiatus from eating crazy or doing whatever. You do not have to stop it at all, but for a short time, you want the best for your baby, however many, if you want to conceive, right? And you just want the best for yourself as well. Doctors and things, they always just want to cut because they get paid for that. They're not implementing better lifestyles because they get paid to study and watch how people respond to certain things and drugs and surgeries, and then you just become a statistic. I don't know how they separate their family and their work. That's a whole nother video. But you have to be that person if your family members wasn't. My mom and my dad didn't know the best. My mom has been implementing different things now in her life and doing better. My father is a little bit more hesitant, but he is still a meat eater. My mom deals with animals too, but on a chart with numbers for them, my mom is at a higher rate with taking more herbs and supplements and things. My dad still eats meat, but I told him if he's still going to eat the meat, then he has to balance that out with double veggies or double whatever it is in a day. If he wants to have the fruit, or if he wants to drink, you gotta drink more water. If you're going to do all these X, Y, and Z's that's hurting your body, right? So I take it how I can, because again, the older people are more stuck in their ways, and there's some young people too, but a lot of older people are stuck in their ways. So when I do cross some older folk who, like in my family, I've had a few people who reverse their diabetes and they're older, and I love to hear when they speak, or I see them release weight. They notice things changing in their life simply from being more active, eating less meat if they still consume meat, right? Eating more vegetables, doing more supplements, doing meditation. They are just mindful of that. And they're like, wow, I didn't know it was that simple. It's simple. It's so simple. Okay? I already tell my family all the time, we have to stop being DaVinci Code about these little things. I don't know where the habit started of, actually I do. Kind of, sort of. It's and I was talking about this earlier and I went left. But just like how old school, well, I'm going to speak for my family or those around me that I know from conversation, is when someone got pregnant, they didn't want the family to know, they send the girl down south. If somebody went to jail, they went away somewhere. If somebody was ill and they couldn't go to church or they couldn't show up somewhere, they made up some type of excuse. And because it was all about an image thing, it was just like, we're not going to tell nobody, because we have to appear a certain way. We have to be the best because we don't want to be looked down upon and frowned upon and joked on because of whatever our human experience here that we're going through in these bodies, in these shells. We don't want to be looked down upon. All the while, those people who were going through things and people were publicly shaming them, people were secretly watching them to see, like, wow, they made it through this, or wow, she did that. Well, again, see, that goes back to projecting. People project what um, their insecurities on you because they don't see they wasn't prosperous in having a child and um, doing great and having a place to live and thriving with the family because they weren't married or um, they were unemployed for like just so many things that these people project because they weren't successful with doing it. So they're projecting on the families and people who are, right? So instead of coming up and saying, hey, again, I'm back at this last video, I was talking about this. I went through this, so and so. If you need help, I'm here. And instead, they go, this girl, this man got a baby. This man broke. This man this. Meanwhile, they going through the same thing, but because you are living and thriving, and I'm not going to say surviving because I'm tired of that term. We've been surviving for generations. And I know our lineage, people who look like me, did not start as slavery, so I don't even need any reminders about that. But still surviving, even successful people, so the surviving thing is horrible, loops and hills of things that we have to go through to be successful. People always say surviving. But anywho, again, stop with the disease or not talking about it. If you have an issue, speak on it. Okay? You can start with small changes. Something as simple as not cooking with, making your tea with a glass kettle. I will post the link of the glass kettle that I have, that I use my tea. It's something small little things. Okay, people always think they have to start like, they look at people and all these bigger, or their lives, look at them at chapter 22. They had to start at chapter 1 too. You just didn't see it. You just seen them here at the top. You just seen them here. You didn't see them, you didn't pay attention to them when they was doing the work, or when they probably talked to you. But that's enough. I gotta go get my hair did. I hope you learned something or got something from this. If it was rhetorical for you, a lot of messages are rhetorical. This message was for me as well in some forms and fashion. But until next time, I wish you well. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace.